back with Kory. He's going to give us a deck profile on his vampires today. He got second place at our non-meta tournament just recently with this list.
This is the epitome of probably what I've made vampires into, and before they always felt way too gimmicky, where it was just like get one monster on board, set up a counter trap, and then rely on Fraulein to not die. And I realized very, very fast that, well, this may work in some situations, it's normally shit. So I had to make this deck better, and then I went to a variant where I would use Union Carrier and the Buster Lock combo to lock opponent out of the deck, have about 2 negates on that. But then, as you all know, the ban list dropped and completely destroyed the entire premise of this deck, so I had to, once again, continue on from there, which I'm actually kind of glad it did, because it forced me to find a way to make this deck viable, and now on a full combo I can end up on 3 negates through a Dragoon, a Savage Dragon, and the counter trap, and then Synchro summon into Hot Red Dragon, Archfiend, King Calamity during your opponent's turn. So 3 negates plus shutting off your opponent's turn so that the next turn that drops by you can just OTK them. I don't know what else I could have done to this deck to make it get to this point. And hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I have, so let me bring you into the method of my madness. Alright, to start off with is your main combo fodder. Vampire Familiar and Vampire Retainer. They both have the same effect where you can send one vampire card from your hand or face them from the field to the graveyard, special summon these from the graveyard, and banish them if they leave the field after using this effect. That is a hard once per turn, and then they also both have a different search effect that's hard once per turn. Familiar will search monsters, and Retainer will search spells or traps. These two are both used as fodder to go into your Link summons, bring out Link Karibo and stuff like that. You normally want to see at least one of these in your opening hand with like an Uni-Zombie or something like that, another way to send something to the graveyard and you can get full combo. But you do need to run the 3 and 3 because you're running 3 Allure of Darkness, and banishing just one of these isn't bad. Moving on, we run 2 Fraulein because, well, this is more of a combo deck. You do have to use your... sometimes you have to go as Vampire Beatdown, and Fraulein is the epitome of Vampire Beatdown. Her comboed out with Vampire's Domain makes so you're paying little to nothing for her effect, and just making it so your biggest monster at 2200 can become a 5200 to attack over damn near anything is powerful enough. The only downside is you do have to pay life points for her effect and her special summon clause once per turn. After that, for more level 5s, we run 1 Shadow Vampire. This is a pinnacle combo piece that you'll probably search off of Familiar before going into your combo, and when you normal summon this guy, it has to be normal summon, so you're tributing for this guy's effect. You can special summon 1 vampire from your deck, and that's the only thing that can attack for the rest of the turn. Seeing as how you're going first turn, it doesn't matter. But this guy, I forgot he existed in my initial builds, and then once I read him and realized that he's a free special summon, I had to run him. And then I run 1 Vampire Crimson. It's just protection. He's left over from my last deck, from the last time I built this, and seeing as how he's really only a 1 of, and I can't think of anything else to run here, another Vampire name is worth it, and sending him to grave for extra protection, and just ending on him isn't bad because he can protect himself, so it's worth having in here. And then moving from level 5 to level 6, we run 2 Scarlet Scourge. Scarlet Scourge on summon is a monster born for the archetype for 1,000 life points. And I run 2 because you use 1 for the main combo, which will leave the other one in your deck, and just normal summoning him to special summon one of your cards out of your graveyard after you've gone full combo is more often than not enough for game. So he's recovery, he's combo, he helps for either way that this deck has to go. Moving away from the vampire monsters, we go into the regular Uni-Zombie package. 3 Uni-Zombie, 2 Solitaire. Used to have it at 3, but I realized real quickly that opening more than one of these hurts way worse than opening none of these. That's a lie, but still hurts, so 2. And then 2 Mizuki. Well, the card is good. Seeing in my hand isn't actually that bad, so I'm trying to get to Uni-Zombie anyways, and you just gotta get to the grave somehow. 1 wasn't enough, 2 seems to be working exactly where I want it to. And that's the end of the Uni-Zombie combo. To go full combo, you do have to somehow get into Uni-Zombie, so it's decently important. After that, you got Plague Spreader and the whole Red Eyes Fusion package in here. These are just the extra ones. These are the cards you don't want to draw into in the deck. It actually doesn't hurt too much if you draw into only one of these, because due to Plague Spreader is effectively putting it back and then sending it. So drawing into one of these doesn't hurt. Drawing into this really does hurt. It all really depends on how you want to go about your day. And then that is it for the monsters. We don't run any hand traps because this is a turn 1 combo deck. Either you go off or...
You don't.
Yeah, thank you, Davey.
Yeah, no problem.
Moving on to spells, we run 3 Vampire's Domain. This is a pinnacle combo piece in the entire deck, hence why I run 3. It doesn't hurt too much if you open 2, just as long as you're opening like Familiar or Retainer as well to send it, because that way you're pretty much just replacing it and getting life points when your vampire monsters do damage is great. But you can pay 500 life points to get an extra normal summon, and that effect alone makes it so that Uni-Zombie taking up your normal summon doesn't hurt nearly as bad, because you do still have to tribute summon, and that kind of sucks, but oh well. Another 3 of that I didn't run 3 of before. I run Vampire's Desire. This is just pretty much another Foolish Burial for the archetype. Worst case scenario, I use it as a somewhat Monster Reborn, but normally I'll use it to send either Familiar or Retainer, whichever I don't have in hand, just to get it in there and go full combo. But you want to open at least one of these, a Foolish Burial, something. You just want an extra way to get something to the grave to be able to just do more. And then the last 3 of I run is 3 Allure Darkness. It's a dark deck. I just need to dig really bad. Like I said, combo or bust. I mean, that's a lie. You can still just go Vampire Control if your combo doesn't work out. But still, digging, helpful. And then for all my power 1-0s, 1 Foolish Burial, another way to send to the grave. I use both these as a way to stop hand traps. Called by the Grave, obviously. Target 1, banish, can't use effects. And then Instant Fusion, I use this on Millennium Eyes Restrict, which is another way to stop hand traps. Sadly, Nibiru and Impermanence still hurt really, really badly. But here's the hoping that they just don't draw those. Right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kory, if you feel that way. I'm sorry.
Shut up. It hurts so bad. Anyways, Monster Reborn, because if you can open into this, then you really don't need to open up into all your other things, because you got the extra summon that way. 1 for 1 and Upstart. I just draw power and being able to special summon now. It's either Retainer or, well, pretty much, not Retainer, but Familiar. Familiar is the only level 1 left. I did take out Glow Bloom. I'm kind of debating adding it back in, not gonna lie, just for some extra, as another way to be able to go full combo with 1 for 1. But we'll see how that goes. And then the last card in the main deck is just 2 traps. And I only run 2 of the counter trap now instead of the full 3, because you don't want to open this. You probably want to search this. This is an optional negate. If you have an extra one of these, you're golden. If you don't, if you go full combo, you're starting on 2 negates and a King Calamity, so it doesn't hurt too much. But yeah, I still like running because it is a counter trap. It outs Dark Ruler no more if that's if your opponent's citing that in. So like you don't really have to worry about too much. But that's it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck is very, very tight. Like the only card that I could possibly cut to not have plays afterwards would be this or something else. But this is still useful in its own right. Anyways, beginning we got our fusions, which is Millennium Eyes Restrict. Instant Fusion, the only reason to summon it. And Dragoon, it's a boss monster that 90% of deck, that a lot of, not 90%, that's a false statistic. That a bunch of scrub decks in particular have trouble outing. It's still a fabulous boss monster. It's a free negate, and summoning him is pretty easy in this deck. Like I can use, worst case scenario, if I'm going Vampire Beatdown, it's usually Vampire Dragoon Beatdown, so I'm not sitting too bad. I can usually end on at least 2 negates. So he's a pretty good boss monster for the deck. Moving away from the fusions, we go into the Synchros. We have Formula Synchron, we have Borreload Savage Dragon, and we have Hot Red Dragon King Calamity. Formula Synchron will be summoned off of Holofibrax's banished effect during your opponent's turn to special summon this out. This will already be special summoned out. It's a free negate, and it's literally just a stepping stone going into this, because by the end of the turn, I'll have this on board, a Dragoon, Synchro summon into this during the opponent's turn, just lock them out of their turn. That's the whole reason he's in here, is this just nifty little combo, and that's how I made the deck actually be able to stand up to most anything, you know, minus things that love to use their back row, such as Sky Strikers, Trap Tricks, Alter Geist, True Draco, Sub Terror, etc., etc. But yeah, these guys are just mainly for the main combo. After that, they're pretty useless. I mean, you might be able to use his effect to summon this back, but if you are, then you're probably going to lose anyways. So, but at least it floats. Moving on, we have one XYZ. This one is situational. This one's just more my fun deal. If I have like Scarlet Scourge out and a Fraulein, I can attack with the Scarlet Scourge, up with Fraulein's attack, steal whatever monster it's attacked into during main phase 2, XYZ into this, detach my Scarlet Scourge in order to target one monster, send it to graveyard, and then use its second effect to be able to special summon my field for whatever reason. Because it doesn't destroy. The only problem is that it does target, so it doesn't out Dragoon, it doesn't out untargetable monsters. But if it's indestructible, this thing doesn't give a shit. So that's really much the only reason I run it. And when I post on my Facebook, on a Facebook group about why I ran this, I can't run Beatrice. I'm going to say that now. I have no way to summon it. If I have 2 Sheridans out, I'm already losing. So Beatrice is worthless in the deck. Moving on to the Link monsters, we have Link Karibo, big part of the main combo. Because you'll probably be taking this with Savage Dragon as the 1 negate, because like I said, Savage Dragon is going to leave your board, so you don't need more than 1 negate. Next is Anaconda for Dragoon. Holofibrax, because it is probably the best combo extender we've seen to date in Link format, surprisingly. But being able to just freely special summon a tuner from the deck, I feel like it should be banned. Or at least limited to 1. Limiting to 1 doesn't do too much, but like, still, this card is really, really good. And it enables this entire combo. But moving on from that, we have 2 Vampire Sucker, extra draws, just easy monster to go into. Phoenix, the MST, Unicorn for the spin, Appaloosa. I have the regular secret rare. I'm just running gold rare to piss all y'all off. Appaloosa for negates, and Borreload to knock down their door. And I don't really have to go into most of these. Most after this, these are usually what's left over in my deck. I don't usually have to go into them, but if I'm going into beatdown mode, they become real helpful. The fact that I only have to go through like 6 or 7 of my cards in my extra deck to go full combo also means that I have backup plays afterwards and more Link fodder, so the deck can still hold up after the main combo. After how many years since Dark Savior has come out and me hyperfixating on nothing but this one main deck, the method to my madness is real. I hope you guys can enjoy this deck as much as I have, and maybe you guys will find a way to add more negates, more ways to shut off your opponent's turns, more ways to make your opponent just want to scoop after they see your end board, and I would love to hear them. But for that, you guys gotta stay safe. Take this coronavirus seriously, stay indoors, wear your masks, and just do your part. Anyways, have yourselves a wonderful day, and don't get sick. Bye.